Most women over 60 never realize this one small styling habit they've trusted for years could be quietly adding years to their appearance without them noticing. Not because anything is wrong, but because hair doesn't behave the same way it used to as the face naturally changes with age. And the surprising part is this: it's often not the haircut itself, but how it sits around the face, ears, and neckline that creates that something feels off moment in the mirror. Today, that changes, because you're about to discover simple but powerful styling adjustments that can instantly lift your look, soften harsh angles, and bring back a more balanced, refreshed appearance without drastic cuts or complicated routines. Stay with this, because what comes next could completely change how you see your hair, your style, and your reflection. You haven't done anything wrong. In fact, you've probably been doing the same hair routine for years because it once worked beautifully for you. And for a long time, there was no reason to change it. But something subtle happens over time. The face slowly shifts. The jawline softens just a little. The neck doesn't look quite as defined as it once did. Even the ears and hairline begin to play a different role in how your overall look comes together. And that's where the confusion starts. You look in the mirror and think, I still feel like me, so why doesn't my hair feel right anymore? It's not about aging in a negative way. It's about natural change that no one properly explains to you. Most women are never told that hair doesn't just sit on the face, it frames it. And when the frame no longer matches the structure beneath it, even a good haircut can start to feel slightly off, heavier, or less flattering than before. This is why so many women feel stuck, not knowing what exactly changed or what to do about it. The truth is simple. Your beauty hasn't disappeared, it's just asking for a different kind of support now. And once you understand that shift, everything about choosing a flattering style becomes clearer, easier, and far more empowering. This isn't about trends, and it's not about chasing youth either. It's about something far more important and far more practical: structure, balance, and how the smallest styling decisions quietly shape the way your entire face is seen. Because hair is not just decoration, it's a frame. And just like a picture, even a beautiful image can look completely different depending on the frame around it. What most women are never told is that after 60, the relationship between hair and face changes. The same cut that once added softness or elegance can now unintentionally highlight areas you didn't even notice were shifting. Not dramatically, but enough to change the overall impression in the mirror. This is where understanding structure becomes powerful. When hair is placed in the right direction, with the right weight and shape, it can visually lift the face, soften strong lines, and bring harmony back to features that feel slightly out of balance. And when it's not, even expensive salon work can feel like it's missing something you can't quite explain. That's why this matters. Not because appearance is everything, but because feeling aligned with your reflection affects confidence in everyday life. How you carry yourself, how you show up, and how comfortable you feel in your own skin. Once you start seeing hair through the lens of structure instead of style alone, everything becomes clearer and much easier to control. Today, you're going to discover simple haircut and styling adjustments that don't require a dramatic change, expensive salon visits, or complicated routines, but can still make a visible difference in how your face is framed and how balanced your overall look feels. These are small, intentional shifts in shape, length, and placement that work with your natural features instead of against them. The kind of details most people overlook, yet they often make the biggest difference in how refreshed and lifted a hairstyle appears. As we go through this, you'll see how the right approach can gently create the appearance of a more defined neckline, bring softness and harmony back to facial features, and add a sense of structure that feels polished without trying too hard. Nothing here is about changing who you are. It's about refining what you already have so it works better with the way your face naturally looks today. And once you start noticing these adjustments, you'll understand why some hairstyles feel instantly right in the mirror, while others quietly don't. Style number 1. Most women never realize this cut can completely change how the face is framed, especially around the ears and neckline, where small details make the biggest visual difference. Makes prominent ears less noticeable, reduces softness around the neck area, fixes flat, aging-looking silhouettes, restores balance around the face shape, It works because of how the hair naturally falls and guides the eye. When the front pieces move slightly forward, they redirect attention away from the sides of the face. The right layering creates soft shadows around the ear area instead of exposing it, while strategic volume at the crown lifts the overall shape upward, making the face appear more open and supported. Ask for a softly layered face framing cut. Controlled volume at the crown, not the sides. Length that allows movement around the cheekbone area. Light texturing near the front to avoid heaviness. Face looks lifted without effort. Neck appears longer and more refined. Features feel softer and more balanced. Overall appearance looks more polished and refreshed. Now, this next one is even more powerful. Style number 2. Most women never realize this cut can completely change how the face is framed, especially when the goal is to soften the sides while still keeping the look modern and fresh. Ear prominence becomes less noticeable. Neck area looks softer and less defined. Hair no longer looks flat or heavy. Restores missing structure around the face. This style works because the hair is guided forward instead of outward. When the front sections fall slightly toward the cheeks, they naturally reduce focus on the ear area. Light also behaves differently, creating soft shading near the sides of the face, while controlled volume at the top lifts the overall shape. This balance makes the face appear more elongated and supported. Ask for a soft, forward-moving layered cut. Slight face framing pieces that skim the cheekbone. Minimal bulk around the ear area. Light internal layering to keep movement without puffiness. Face looks naturally lifted and balanced. Neck appears smoother and more refined. Features feel softer without losing definition. Overall look becomes more elegant and intentional. Now, this next one is even more powerful. Style number 3. Most women never realize this cut can completely change how the face is framed, especially when the goal is to bring softness without losing shape or structure. Reduces visible ear prominence. Softens a heavier looking neck area. Fixes a flat or aging silhouette. Restores missing balance around the face. This style works through movement and direction. Instead of hair sitting still or falling straight down, the layers are designed to move inward toward the face. That inward flow naturally draws attention to the eyes and cheekbones, while soft shadowing forms around the sides. Volume is kept slightly higher on the crown, which subtly lifts the entire silhouette and prevents the sides from widening the face. Ask for a layered cut with curtain-style face framing. Soft inward movement toward the cheekbones. Light, blended layers through the mid-lengths. Slight crown lift without heavy side volume. Face looks naturally lifted and more open. Neck appears longer and more elegant. Overall structure feels softer but more defined. Appearance looks effortlessly polished and refreshed. Now, this next one is even more powerful. Style number 4. Most women never realize this cut can completely change how the face is framed, especially when hair is structured to lift rather than simply sit around the head. Makes ears less visually dominant. Reduces heaviness around the neck. Corrects a flat or dragging silhouette. Restores definition around the face shape. This style works by shifting where the visual weight sits. Instead of volume sitting at the sides, it is lifted upward toward the crown. This upward placement creates the illusion of height, which automatically reduces attention on the ear zone. At the same time, soft layering allows light to move across the hair instead of sitting in heavy blocks, creating a brighter and more lifted appearance overall. Ask for a tapered, structured short to mid-length cut. Crown-focused volume placement. Softly blended sides, no bulk around ears. Light feathering for natural movement. Face looks lifted and more sculpted. Neck appears longer and cleaner. Features feel more open and balanced. Overall look becomes sharper and more refined. Now, this next one is even more powerful. Style number 5. Most women never realize this cut can completely change how the face is framed, especially when the goal is to create lift, softness, and structure at the same time. Reduces visual focus on prominent ears. Softens a sagging or heavier looking neck. Fixes a flat, lifeless silhouette. Restores missing structure around the face. This style works because it combines controlled shape with intentional movement. The hair is designed to fall slightly forward and inward, which naturally redirects attention toward the center of the face instead of the sides. Soft layering creates gentle shadow effects around the ear area, while strategic volume at the crown lifts the entire head shape upward. This balance makes the face appear more supported and visually refined. Ask for a soft, face-framing layered cut with movement. Slight inward direction toward the cheek and jawline. Light internal layers to avoid bulk around the ears. Controlled crown lift for added height and balance. Face looks naturally lifted and more defined. Neck appears longer, smoother, and more elegant. Overall structure feels softer yet more balanced. Appearance becomes instantly polished and refreshed. Now, this next one is even more powerful. Each point in your video should feel like it's building on the last, not repeating it. Think of it like a slow reveal, where every step goes a little deeper, fixes something more specific, and delivers a stronger visual transformation than the one before. You start with changes that are easy to understand and instantly noticeable, simple adjustments that improve framing and balance. As the video progresses, you move into more refined techniques that involve structure, layering, and placement. These are the details most people overlook, but they create the biggest difference in how youthful, lifted, and put together the final look appears. The key is progression, not repetition. Each new style or idea should solve a more hidden problem than the last. For example, the early points may address general softness or lack of shape, while later points go deeper into things like visual weight distribution, neckline definition, or how movement changes perception around the face. At the same time, the emotional impact should also increase. Early on, the viewer feels this makes sense. Later, it becomes this is exactly what I've been missing. By the end, it should feel like a full transformation in understanding, not just hairstyle tips. This structure keeps attention because the viewer feels like something important is still coming. They don't want to leave early because each section feels like it's getting closer to the real solution. The stronger the contrast between each point, the higher the retention. Even the best haircut can lose its effect if one small detail is wrong, because structure alone is not enough. Supporting choices like color, product, and styling habits quietly decide whether your look feels lifted or weighed down. 1. Hair color placement that lifts the face. Where your color sits matters as much as the cut itself. When lighter tones are placed around the crown and softly around the face, they naturally draw the eye upward. This creates the illusion of height and brightness, which helps the face look more open and refreshed. On the other hand, heavy or dark concentration around the sides can pull attention outward, making features feel heavier than they are. 2. Products that enhance movement. The goal is movement, not stiffness. Lightweight mousses or soft styling creams work best because they support shape without dragging the hair down. When hair stays airy and flexible, the layers can do their job framing, lifting, and softening the face naturally throughout the day. Heavy oils or thick products often collapse this effect and reduce the lift you just created at the salon. 3. Styling mistakes that quietly add years. One of the most common issues is over smoothing or flattening the hair against the head. While it may look neat at first, it removes natural volume and can make the face appear more tired. Another mistake is allowing all the volume to sit at the sides instead of the top, which widens the silhouette instead of lifting it. Small adjustments here can completely change the overall impression. These details may seem minor, but together they decide whether a great haircut stays great or quietly loses its impact. Before your next salon visit, say this clearly, not as a request, but as a direction for the result you want to achieve. I'm looking for a style that lifts my face, softens my features, and creates a more defined neckline. I also want to reduce heaviness around the sides and keep the overall shape light and balanced. What approach would you recommend for my hair type and face shape? Then pause and listen carefully. A confident stylist will not rush to suggest a generic cut. They will start thinking in terms of structure, balance, and placement, because that's what your request is really about. You're not asking for a hairstyle. You're asking for a design that works with your features today. If they respond with specific technical ideas like layering strategy, crown placement, or face framing direction, that's a strong sign they understand how to shape mature hair properly. That's the kind of expertise that leads to results you can actually see in the mirror, not just in theory. But if the answer feels vague, overly simple, or rushed, that's also valuable information. It tells you the approach may not be detailed enough for the kind of transformation you're looking for. This one conversation can completely change your experience in the salon chair because it shifts you from hoping for a good result to actively guiding it. One of the most important parts of your transformation isn't just watching, it's choosing what feels right for you. Because every woman's face, hair texture, and comfort level is different. And what works beautifully for one person may simply need slight adjustment for another. As we go through these ideas, take a moment and be honest with yourself. Which of these would you feel most confident trying? Is it something that lifts the crown area, a softer face framing shape, or a style that gently defines the neckline without feeling too dramatic? Your answer matters more than you think, because confidence always starts with what feels realistic, not just what looks good on paper. And as you think about everything you've seen, remember this: your style is not about age, it's about structure that supports you. When your hair is working with your features instead of against them, everything changes. You don't need to chase youth, you only need balance, softness, and shape that feels aligned with who you are today. If this helped shift how you see your hair, you're not alone, and your experience could help someone else too. Your beauty isn't something that disappears with time, it simply changes form, becoming more defined, more personal, and more uniquely yours. When you understand how structure, softness, and balance work together, you stop seeing age as a limitation and start seeing it as a new stage of refinement. Nothing about you is lost. It's all being reshaped into something more intentional. The goal was never to look younger in a forced way, but to feel aligned with what you see in the mirror, to recognize yourself again with clarity and confidence. So as you move forward, remember this: small, thoughtful changes can create a powerful shift in how you carry yourself every day. Forever vital, forever confident, forever you.